Algebra class, let's go ahead and review for the Chapter 4 quiz. I'm going to show you how to do all these problems real quick. So, for the first one, it says write an equation in point-slope form of the line that passes through the given point and has a given slope. If I was going to write one for this one, I just remember that point-slope form is y minus y1 is equal to m x minus x1. That being said, I'm going to replace my m with my m here, negative 2 over 5. My y and my x in each of these stay the same. I'm going to replace my x with a 5 because this is my x, this is my y and my coordinates. So I'm going to replace this with 5. It becomes a negative 5. And then I'm going to replace my y1 with negative 12. And a negative times a negative is a positive. So this will become y plus 12 equals negative 2 over 5 times x minus 5. All right, let's move on to our next problem. It says write an equation in slope-intercept form of the line that passes through the given points. This time we're talking slope-intercept form, which is, let's see, what y is equal to mx plus b. To do this, I'm going to have to find m, which is my slope. I can use my slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 to find what m is. So we're going to assign each one of these number 1 or number 2. I'm going to make this one number 2, this one number 1. Remember, this is always my x, this is always my y. So now I'll go to y2, and y2 is 12, and I'll minus y1, which is 2. Then I'll take x2, which is 2, and minus x1, which is 7. This is going to give me 10 over negative 5. 10 divided by negative 5 is negative 2, so that means my slope is negative 2. Well, now I can go ahead and rewrite this as y equals negative 2x, but I still have to find out what b is. I got one of two ways to do this. I can either plug it, one of these equations back into this, or I can use my point-slope form. Okay, I'm going to use the point-slope form first. I'm going to try out, remember that's y minus y1, and that's going to be equal to, I'm sorry, that should have been my slope there. That would be m times x minus x1. So in this case, I already know that m is negative 2. I'm going to put my y1 as, I'll put it as 2. And I'll put my x1 as 7. Now, it doesn't matter which of these set of coordinates we put in here, we're going to get the same answer for b. All right? You'll see that in a second here. First, I'm going to take y minus 2. That's going to be equal to negative 2 times x, which is negative 2x, and negative 2 times negative 7, which is a positive 14. Now I have to get rid of this negative 2. I'm going to add 2 to both sides to get rid of it. And that gives me y is equal to negative 2x plus 16. So right here, plus 16 is our answer. All right. Could we have used the slope-intercept form to solve this? Sure, I could have put y was equal to negative 2x plus b. I could replace my x and y with one of these, and this time I'll use this set instead of the other one, just to show you I'm going to get the same answer. So y is now going to be 12. Remember, I'm taking negative 2 and multiplying it to x, which is 2. And then I'm going to add b. I'm not going to put what I already know the answer is going to be. Remember, I'm looking for b. When I do this, I'll have 12 is equal to negative 4 plus b. I will add 4 to both sides to isolate my variable. And as you can see, 12 plus 4 is 16. And 16 equals b. So whether I use this formula to find out that it's 16, or this formula to find the whole formula and find out that it's 16, either way it's going to work. All right, let's go ahead and work on the next problem. This one says write an equation in standard form of the line that passes through the given points. Remember, the standard form is going to be ax plus by equals c. But first we have to go ahead and find some things. So first of all, let's find the slope. If we look at this, we could take any 2 points, right, and use our slope formula. Y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So if we're going to do this, I'm going to label this one my 2's and this one my 1's. So now I've got, well, let's see, I have 6 minus 2, and then I'll have negative 6 minus negative 3. So everyone see, this is my set for 2, this is my set for 1. All right. When I do this, 6 minus 2 is 4. I know a negative times a negative is a positive. So now negative 6 plus 3 is going to give me negative 3. So my slope is going to be negative 4 over 3. All right, and that's great because now I can go ahead and use my point slope formula. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Let's fill those in. We know the m now, the slope is now negative 4 over 3. And now I can plug in the rest. I think I'm going to use this set over here of 6 and negative 6. So y is going to be 6. That'll give me y minus 6. And then over here, x is going to minus a negative 6. All right, now we have y minus 6 is going to be equal to negative 4 over 3x, because negative 4 times x is negative 4x. And then we've got a negative times a negative here. That's going to give us a positive 6. So now we're going to have negative 4. Well, let's take this fraction and move it over here for a second. We have negative 4 over 3. And we have a positive 6. So that's like 6 over 1. Right? And we're multiplying them. I know that 3 and 6 are both divisible by 3. Oh, sorry. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Now I got negative 4 times 2, and that's negative 8. So this would give us a negative 8 for, right here, negative 8. All right. And now we're going to, move our number over here. We're going to add 6 to both sides, combining our like terms. Now we have y is equal to negative 4 over 3x, and negative 8 plus 6 is negative 2. Now we're going to move the x to this side, because remember, we need it in this format, right? So we need x over here. So we're going to add 4 over 3. x to both sides. When I do this, I'm going to have 4 over 3x equals, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot the y. Pop that in there. Let's see, plus y is going to be equal to negative 2. And now, so I can get all integers, I'm going to multiply this to 3. This is going to leave me 4x let's see, plus 3y is equal to negative 6. All right, and that's my formula. First, my standard formula for the problem. Let's go to the next one. This one says write an equation of the line that passes through the given points and is parallel to the given line. Okay. Write an equation of the line that passes through the given points. Okay. These points and is parallel to this one. All right. I'm going to work a little quicker this time for the sake of making this video a little shorter. So we know this is the original equation. We want one that's going to be parallel to this. So we already know we have to have the identical slope. Okay. What we're looking for is where it passes through B. So now I can go ahead and take x and y and replace it with my x and y here to find what B is. Okay, so we're going to find B. So I'm going to place y with 3. I'm going to replace, let's see here, x with negative 1. All right, and then I'm going to put what 3 is equal to, negative times a negative is a positive, and I would be subtracting 3 from both sides, and that means 0 is our where it crosses through x, or y at 0. So this slope would be written as y is equal to negative 3x, and that's it. There would be no adding 0 to it. To make double sure, I can put this in my my point slope form. So y minus, well, this would be 3, going to be equal to my slope of negative 3 times x minus negative 1. This will give me y minus 3 is equal to, well, a negative times a negative is a positive, so this is negative 3 times x plus 1. Now we have y minus 3 is equal to negative 3 times x is negative 3x, and negative 3 times positive 1 is negative 3. And of course, I will add 3 to both sides. As you can see, I've got y is equal to negative 3x, and 3 minus 3 is 0, so it stays right there. We got the same answer both ways, so we know that this is the right one. Let's go on to the next problem. This one says, write an equation of the line that passes through the given point and is perpendicular. This is one that a lot of people make mistakes with. Now, perpendicular means I need the opposite of the slope that I see here, the negative reciprocal. So if I have negative 1 over 5 as my slope, the negative reciprocal would be 5 over 1, positive, right? Which means 5 is going to be my slope. So now I'm replacing this negative 1 over 5 with 5x, all right? And we have to use this as our new slope if we're going to get the correct answers. So remember, this one's going to be let's see, this is minus 9, right? But we'll put minus b, okay, or plus b, I should say. And now we're going to put in all the numbers. I'm going to do point slope form just to get the nice answer at the end. I'm going to get y minus, my y over here is 10. So y minus 10, and that's going to be equal to my slope, which is 5 now, not negative 1 over 5. Don't use the old one. And then that's going to get multiplied to x minus 7. This is going to give me y minus 10 equals 5x minus 35. Now I'm going to add 10 to both sides to combine my like terms and isolate my variable y. And negative 35 plus 10 is negative 25. And that's going to be my answer. All right. Let's go to the next one. Public University charges $9,500 for tuition and fees in 2015 through 2016 academic year. This cost increased at a constant rate and reached $10,500 in 2020 through 2021 academic year. So estimate the cost of tuition and fees in the 2024 through 2025 academic year. Okay. So first we've got to figure out how much did it increase in 1 year. So right now we know from 2015, which is the year that we started here, to 2020, how many years went by? Well, 20 minus 15, that's 5. So 5 years went by. And what was the difference in the price? Well, we see that they charged this much here, and then they charged this much here. So we want to see how much it went up. Well, if they did charge 10,500, that's what we're seeing there, and now they're, or excuse me, if they did charge 9,500, and then they charge 10,500, that's a difference of 1,000. I think I'm going to double check here. 10,500. We're minusing 9,500. Yep, that's a difference of 1,000. So that means that that's a difference of $1,000 for every 5 years that happened there. 1,000 divided by 5 would be 200. All right, so that'd be 200 over 1 as a slope. So that means $200 for every 1 year. Now they're asking us about 2024. Now 2024 is only 4 more years than 2020. So we have to take this 20 and multiply it to, well, we're multiplying the bottom by 4, right? 1 times 4 would be 4 years. Then we might have to multiply the top by 4, and that's 800. So that means in 4 years, okay, you'll see an increase of $800. So it says, estimate the cost of tuition in that year. We're going to have to go to the previous year, which is 10,500, and we'll have to add 800 to it. And that's going to give us $11,300. All right, let's move on. Now it says find the missing coefficient in the equation. They want us to find A. Well, first we're going to have to find our slope. We've got 2 and 1 here, right? Or 2 and negative 1, excuse me. We can actually go ahead and plug in these x and y's here. Let's see here. Remember, this is x and this is y over here. So I can take this ax, which is 2, right? Plus 3y, and y we said was negative 1, and that equals 5. Now we could just say that we have, well, 2a plus Positive times a negative is a negative. So I'm going to change that to a -3. This is -3 be equal to 5, which means we'll have to add 3 to both sides to combine our like terms. That means 2a is going to equal 8. Then we'll have to divide 2 away from a to isolate a variable. And a is going to equal 8 divided by 2, which is 4. So now, since we know a is 4, we can say that, let's see, write the completed equation. We can put 4x plus 3y equals 5. All right, let's go to the next one. This one says you want to order posters to advertise your band. The company charges $109.95 for the first 100 posters and $65 for each additional 100 posters. Okay, write an equation that represents the cost in dollars of the posters as a function of the number in hundreds of posters. Wow, okay. So if I'm writing the equation to solve this, it says the company charges this much for the first 100 posters and an additional $65 for each additional one, right? For each additional 100 posters. So let's see here. Company charges $109 for the first 100 posters. And let's see how many posters are we getting here. Write an equation. Well, we know we're getting 109 for the first one. 0.95, and then we're adding that to $65, right? For each additional 100 posters, so we could put this as X, right? And that's gonna be our equation for solving this. Okay. If we're doing this, it says that was our equation, right? And I was saying interpret the slope and the y-intercept. The slope and the y-intercept. Okay. Well, if we're writing the equation, I guess this would all have to be y here, right? So if I wrote this the other way, it'd be y equals 65x plus 109.95. And then, so it says interpret the slope and y-intercept. My slope is going to be 65 over 1, right? And then my y-intercept that's actually going to be 109.95. Says find the total cost of 1,000 posters. All right, so if this is the case, the first 100 was covered, right? Now we have 900 more. And this represents in hundreds, right? Yeah, function in hundreds. So we would have to put plus 65 times, I'm going to go with, when we get rid of the first 100, there's going to be 900 left. And remember, they charge 65 for each 100. So we would have to put a 9 here. Now we got 109.95. We need 65 times 9. 5 times 9 is 45. 6 times 9 is 54. 54 plus 4 is 58. So let's see, this is going to give us plus 585. Now we'll just add these two together. And I think our answer is going to be, let's see, 4 plus 5, or 9 plus 5 is 14. Carry the 1, that gives us a 9. And that's $694.95 for 1,000 posters. Okay. That concludes how to do all the problems. I believe we're done with them here. Let's see. Yeah. So hope that helps you prepare for the test retake, and good luck.